Everyone! Alex is here. Thinking about best auto tools? Let's check them. PHPUnit. So it's de facto unit testing for your PHP, and it helps you to make full reports of all of your tests that is done with your unit testing. So it can easily help you to understand how you can just check all of your methods, and this one can really ensure you that your business logic works correctly. So basically you can import your test case, extend it from your class, and make with test prefix all of your tests that you should use. That's de facto unit testing for your PHP. It has incredible capability with your Composer, with CI. I think that if you're working with your PHP, use this. Codeception is one in many testing tool for your PHP. So in general, when you wanted to work with your exceptions, your end-to-end test, unit testing even, or others tests, you can just use this Codeception. It can be a little bit harder to integrate sometimes, but in general, this one will help you to automate all of your processes. So it's incredible for full stack engineers, for example, who are working with all of the aspects of your applications at once. So this one will really suits you. So in general, once more, if you wanna to use one in many testing tool, I think for PHP users, Codeception will be the best choice. PHPSpec. So this is specification-driven development framework for testing. So in general, when you wanted to use your specific function and to instantly make a checking for that, something like unit testing. So specifically this one will be integrated a little bit faster, and this one mostly used on the early stages of your API or integrations. So basically when you're working with them, you can just ensure that your objects is working correctly, because it can help you to check all of the things, methods. It can help you to understand the properties that it should work with on and to it should be held at. So you can use that for checking, working with early stages. Once more time. Unit test. It's basic XUnit tested framework building in your Python. A lot of you know this one, and this is the simple one that you'll probably use when you wanted to work with your unit testing in a Python. So they're easy. So you just have test case. You can use test prefix just to make your test, and in general it will help you with basic creating of your functions, testing that. So nothing hard here, just believe me. But if you want to use something more professional, just let's check the next one. PyTest. I think it's the most popular testing framework for your Python. So in general, firstly, function-based testing. That's incredibly useful. You don't need to write all these OP things, especially if you have, for example, some LM project and you won't use classes for your LM project. Yeah, so in general, it is widely used. You can also use that for unit. You can use that for example, end-to-end testing, smoke, of course, and sanity testing, also exceptions testing. You can integrate your text files with that. So in general, this is widely used test case, honestly speaking. And if you wanna to fully write tests on your Python, so you can use that unit test. But basically, I recommend you to use PyTest. Nose too. It's the new version of Nose, and you can work with that to automatic discoveries for your testing, like unit testing files. So as we can see here, for example, you can use just to discover, and it will automatically discover every unit test that it can find and any other things in your model. So it's incredibly just to check it out how it can automatically and help you not to write any other test models, for example, in specific files and etc. It will help you to instantly remove such things and write your code without thinking how you can run these tests. Jest. It's, I think, one of the most popular JavaScript testing frameworks. So it's created by Facebook. So firstly, it means that you can rely on that. Secondly, there is a lot of building mocks. You can also, it's incredible to use with React, with Vue components. So it's basic understandable tool for using, and a lot of front-end developers are using that. But you really should to check it out. And mostly of all of the testing on the front-end parts for web development, it is based on just testing. Mocha and Chai. So basically, you'll use them together to work. So Mocha is amazing BDD testing framework, and the Chai is also for using for your expecting things. So in general, when you wanted to work with BDD testing, for example, with your business logic, if everything works correctly how it should be on your list, so you'll work with this specific tool. I think this one, if you have never tried it, it definitely needs to be. And also, once more time, I recommend you to use them together. Cypress. So it's end-to-end testing framework for running that in your browser, to go into all the links, all the buttons to click to fully end-to-end test your application. It supports auto-reloading, so you can just write what you should have more and it auto-reload your testing. It also will have this thing that calls like UI view, so you can just view how your test passes with your UI interface. And basically it's one of the most popular one. So also Playwright is popular for such thing, but I think for front-end testing, Cypress is a little bit more popular. Jasmine. It's standalone testing framework for your JavaScript. So basically, nothing hard here. You doesn't have to make any third-party integrations like with the that I told you before. And this one will perfectly work for starting, for example, such types of tests. I like how does it work. Nothing special, but for BDD testing, it's really what you should have. You can discover what you wanted to have more, mod chain, plus chain, or Jasmine. I think like maybe Mocha and Chai I like more, but that's this depends on the how much such things you should have and how many efforts you want to integrate for such application. Mostly you shouldn't do a lot of energy for this, so Jasmine will go good. But if you wanted to have a little bit more, go with Mocha plus Chai. It's my personal choice. Playwright. That one that I was telling to you before. So this is cross-browser automated end-to-end testing platform, and it can emulate, for example, your mobile things. It can print the pages and can make a lot of things. Is very cross platform also, so you can use it for different platforms. Also, like to checking how it will work in your macOS, for example, your Safari or other browsers, like environments. Also, it uses in a lot of programming languages. For example, Python also can use that. So I more like Playwright, for example, than Cypress. But once more time, it's your choice, but it definitely worth to check out. JUnit 5 Jupyter. So this is built-in testing, unit testing framework for your Java, and it has extremely amazing support. So basically, when you will make any classes or methods, you will use this tool for test of what you have. So everything is from the very beginning. You don't need to install very big dependencies to make such a tooling. You can just start working with your application and use that. I think this is why it was created. Not to make any hard things. Just start working with that. TestNG. So this one is more configurable. So it's a little bit similar for what we have seen right now, but this one have more easy way to work with test dependencies, grouping, parallel executions, and yeah, and also with data driven. So basically, if you need more configuration, use TestNG. If not, if you're good with basic tool, just use the basic one. It's also amazing, but it's really depends on how much configuration you should have on your project on Java. BDD, Cucumber, here we go. So this is amazing tool how you can combine your business logic with your Java testing. So this one, as you can see, it gives you a strings, for example, that you can use like simple one, but of course you can make, for example, function, for example, with numbers and you can check how it takes just the simple string and checking if they're correct, if they're equal for A and B. So basically, this one will be the best for your BDD testing, for understanding if business logic suits what you're expecting to have. Selenium. This is one of my favorite testing tools. I like to use it with Python, for example, but here we have Java example of that. And that's incredible. So it also helps you, for example, to work with CI. It helps you to work with your, firstly, it's end-to-end testing framework. So it also can help you to understand how you can work with your different browsers, how you can even execute, for example, the specific Chrome driver from your folder. For example, you can have specific Chrome with authorization instantly for your Google services, for example, and you can run this one from the very beginning, and it will instantly be logged into your Google account and can do some things automated. So it can also not be used even as an end-to-end test framework, but also it can make just automation for some of your things that you're doing regularly. Selenium, I think, is one of the best here. And Selenium is widely used for Java, Python, and I think more backend programming languages. So Playwright is used more, is more used, I think, in front end, but also in Python it is widely used. Cypress, I think, is mostly front end used. Not a lot of people from Java developers or Python developers knew them. But I think that Selenium is one of the best in such categories, and I personally like it the most. I'm using that the most with Python, and it depends on how you want to work with your application and to which you wanna to take framework and what is your business logic. So if it's more backend checking, I think better to go with Selenium with some unit test integrations. But if it's more about front end, go with Playwright or Cypress, as you want to. They're like a little bit similar. Sometimes it's harder, sometimes it's easier. So just check what will be most suitable for you or what is your company using. Thank you everyone for watching. Thanks for your comments about in the next and the previous videos. So I really appreciate what you're doing. I really helped to make everything for us to boost this channel for you to have more information. And in any case, I'll be looking for you in the next videos. Thanks for coming here. All the best for you. Bye.